Defense obviously did a great job. Put them in a terrible situation multiple times, and they continue to make play after play after play after play. They faced 83 plays, which is a lot. So they really stood tall and made a bunch of plays. I was very proud of them, and I told them after the game that I've been in games that ended up 61-59, a bunch of them, and this one ended up the other way where the defense continued to make plays, and I was very proud of them, and that we would come together. We were in a little bit of a different predicament offensively. We ended up having to play quite a few freshmen, and it's just taken us time to get those guys going. Obviously, we played with a different quarterback, and then some young wideouts and stuff. So we need to regroup offensively with where we're at and what we have, and move forward. But we turned the ball over twice, and penalty yards, not much difference, 11 yards. But the turnovers obviously put them in a position, had a chance to, gave them a chance to win a game. So looking forward to getting back to work. We need to rush the football better. We were not very good at rushing the football, and we got to get some young guys at the wideout spot ready to play. We got to do it in about 4 or 5 days. Get ready to play next game.
How long have you guys been without Spencer?
Yeah, there you go.
How long have you guys been without Spencer, and do you expect to have him back by next week?
Middle of the week, and he should be back with us in a couple days.
What do you think about Shane overall? I mean, I know it wasn't the prettiest numbers-wise, but what was your impression of his performance?
I thought he played pretty good. Again, he hasn't had a lot of experience. He made some throws, and then, he missed a few, but for where he's at in his career with experience, he played fine. The issue was we couldn't rush the football. They ended up defending us a little more difficult for pass because we couldn't rush the football. So we need to rush football better, make it a little bit easier on him.
How much do you feel like the offensive line? I mean, it looked like pass blocking wise, they were doing a fairly good job when you dropped back, but then the run blocking was.
You're nailing it right on the head. Our pass blocking was fine. We didn't run block, and we couldn't rush football, so we became somewhat one-dimensional, which is easier for them to defend, as you know. And our pass blocking was fine. It was interesting. Last year, we couldn't pass block. We pass blocked pretty good today, but we didn't run the ball very well. Couldn't run the ball. Couldn't block very well. And I'll have to look and see. I can see some of it, but not all of it from the field.
Coach Gundy, the guys besides Spencer who missed the game, was that for a variety of reasons, or what was it like having them out today?
Well, what'd you say before you said a variety?
The reasons for several guys who were out today, was that also COVID related or injuries or kind of a variety?
Well, some of them are COVID related, some of them are injuries. Langston Anderson had a foot injury in warm-ups, and so we had to move in Bray, and Bray just practiced about 3 or 4 days last week. He's been out for a while, so we just got thrown a curveball a little bit there before the game with kind of what we were doing with our wideouts.
Coach, how does your offensive scheme change with Spencer versus Shane? Spencer brings that athleticism and running ability that Shane hasn't shown off yet.
Sure, he brings athleticism, but we didn't. It doesn't look like we run block very well. So again, from what I was. The question that Jenny asked, Shane played pretty good, really. Sure, he threw an interception, but we didn't run block or rush the football very well. Now, I need to watch and see. Maybe a little bit unfair to say until I watch the tape, but is his athleticism a little different? Sure it is, but we still need to play better, and we need to coach better, not just players. We need to coach better, and they will come up with a plan based on the guys that we have available, and then get ready to play next game.
specifically on some of the absences tonight, Israel Antwine, Hunter Woodard, Blaine Green, Logan Carter, and we heard over the broadcast that Trace Ford might have had a procedure recently. Are there specifics on those absences?
Well, I those masks, I couldn't hear the last part.
Are there specifics on the absences with some of those guys?
So, so Logan Carter will be out quite a while. Who else did you say?
Israel Antwine, Hunter Woodard.
Israel, I'm expecting him back in a few days. Hunter, I'm expecting back in a few days. Langston, not. I don't think with his injury, I don't think he'll be back for a while. Who else?
Blaine.
Trace Ford won't be back for a while. Colin Clay won't be back. Who else is not playing?
Blaine Green didn't start.
Blaine Green, it's going to be a while.
The kick wasn't an onside, but the muff that LB had.
Mhm.
Did those guys tell you anything about what happened over there?
He just didn't, he kind of caught the ball by his knees and then it kind of bobbled a little bit and then he tried to pick it up and he bobbled it again, they jumped on it. It was clear, it was their ball. Their officiating wasn't an issue. And he's a veteran guy and all that and he just kind of bobbled it, and if you had to do it all over again, you just fall on it. You just cover the ball. But he tried to pick it up a couple times. It got kind of jammed. I couldn't see. I just saw a couple times he tried to pick it up, and then they kind of swarmed on him.
We saw LD get most of the carries in between the 20s, and then Jalen was the guy that was successful around the goal line and punched it in. Did tonight help kind of you work around maybe the running back rotation and what we can expect from those guys, each of their roles?
Those guys will still rotate. 27 ran, the few times he ran, he looked good running, and then he fumbled. So we have confidence in those guys. Warren is a little heavier back, so down there, he gives you a little more. But really all those guys can run in any place. We just weren't very successful rushing the ball, and I know I'm repeating myself now, but we need to find out why, because we certainly have to be able to do that.
Yeah, Mike Tay Martin gave you 100 yards and had a very good first drive and some impact plays. What do you think of him stepping into like that wide receiver one role for Tyler?
I thought he played really good. He bummed his ankle up a little bit in the first quarter and slowed him a little bit, and he fought through it. I'm hoping he'll be fine. A lot of times when you do what he did and play through it, it's really sore for a few days. So hopefully he'll be fine. But yes, he played very well and made some plays. He's had a great preseason, worked really hard the last 6 months.
The fact that he's had that preseason that he didn't really have a year ago, or at least not to the extent because of COVID, have you sensed his confidence improving?
Sure.
He just looked like he looked the part tonight.
Completely different person and player. His not that it was not, but his life's in order. He's confident every day in himself. He's confident in practice. He's competing. I'm sure health-wise he'll be fine, but he's worked in the last 9 months and put himself in a position to have a lot of success.
Coach Rodriguez clearly leading in tackles tonight. Can you just talk about him? He's clearly just a team leader right now.
Yeah, Malcolm, he's been a special player here forever, and he's got a lot of just natural ability to get to the ball and make a play, and he's done it, does it all the time, and he's a great leader for us.
There was a possession with under 2 minutes, and you threw on second down, threw on third down. Was that just lack of confidence in the running game from that point?
Yeah, so we just wanted to try to win the game, and we should have, right? We should have made that play. I'm not blaming anybody, but we should have made that throw, made that catch, and the game would have been over. We didn't get it done. I was the one that made the decision. Let's go ahead and throw it and end the game, and it didn't work, so that's on me. But based on the way they were structured defensively, we had throws and we had open guys because they're overloading the run, and so we had guys, we just didn't hit them. So that's on me for throwing it. It sure didn't look very good after it happened, and they didn't have to use timeouts. I was not too fired up about that after we didn't force them to use the 2 timeouts. But I just felt like that the way they were playing defensively, we had calls to where we could play catch and the game's over.
You've been real pleased with special teams in the preseason. What do you think of the play today? I know you missed the PAT, you had some of those goose, but you had some positives too. What do you think of special teams?
You know, I'd have to think it through. Alex missed one, you know, first time coming back. I got all the confidence in him. He just missed one. I didn't even watch. I was talking to somebody and he missed it, and that's how much confidence I have in him, and he missed it. We had a good return, right? A couple good returns. Looked like we punted and tackled well. At first, couple times we didn't kick off very well. Made a change, put Tanner in there, we kicked off better, and our coverage was better. So overall, once we kind of got settled in what we wanted to do, I thought we were fine.
What about that play by Corey Black to grab that punt that they just
Yes, yeah. You know, we had we had guys down there in position to do that, and we should. Like I told you guys weeks ago, we have fast guys that are athletic on those teams, and our punter's been good at that. So we should continue to get better in those areas.